Good evening, everybody. There's the camera there. Let's get into the news, shall we? First one we have Taos News. From the Taos News, Tanner Taos approves contract with Stray Hearts Animal Shelter. Came out May 14th. The Tanner Taos Council approved a new contract with Stray Hearts Animal Shelter during its April 28th meeting, renewing a partnership to provide animal sheltering services to town residents. Under the agreement, Stray Hearts Animal Shelter will work with Tanner Taos animal control officers to provide sheltering, care, and support services for animals in need throughout the community. According to a press release from the nonprofit organization, the contract was approved following a discussion between council members and Stray Hearts Executive Director Christy Van Norman, who just looks like she's pictured right here, about shelter operations, capacity services, and future collaboration with the town and animal control officers. There's been a little bit of controversy. I don't think not too much about the way Tanner Taos partners with a nonprofit for its animal control services. This comment by Jason Knowles states, if the town and county are seeking animal shelter services, it's incumbent on them to do the right thing, open a new municipal animal shelter funded 100% by taxpayer dollars. It's irresponsible for the town and county to contract with nonprofits with limited capacity and limited resources to give Stray Hearts a small amount of income, then expect them to shoulder the entire burden of animal welfare in the community. Most importantly, it's unfair to animals in the shelter who will receive a reduced level of care and attention due to the higher number of intakes, increased medical needs, and painful stretching of resources, all due to these toxic service level contracts. So I just wanted to pass that question on to people watching. Do you think Tanner Taos should have its own completely public animal shelter, or is it okay that they partner with a nonprofit? What do you think? Next, we have from iHeart News, assistant principal faces trial after ignoring warnings in teacher shooting, published May 19th. Today, the trial of Ebony Parker, a former assistant principal at Rich Neck Elementary School, began on Monday, May 18th. With jury selection, Parker faces 8 counts of felony child neglect after allegedly ignoring warnings about a 6-year-old student with a loaded gun. 6-year-old student. Why would a 6-year-old bring a gun to school? The child later shot first grade teacher Abby Zorner in January 2023. Parker has pleaded not guilty to the charges, each carrying a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. Prosecutors allege Parker committed a willful act of omission in the care of such students in a manner so gross, wanton, and culpable as to show a reckless disregard for human life. Apparently for her ignoring the warning signs, according to court documents. The Associated Press reports that Parker's attorneys previously argued the shooting was unforeseeable. That's what her attorneys are saying, stating that she did not have the legal duty to protect Zorner. Zorner, who was shot while sitting at his reading table in her classroom, spent nearly 2 weeks in the hospital and underwent 6 surgeries. A bullet remains lodged in her chest, and she does not have full use of her left hand. Zorner is scheduled to testify in the criminal case. Zorner, the person who was shot, is going to testify. In a civil trial last year, a jury awarded Zorner $10 million, siding with her claims that Parker ignored repeated warnings about the gun. So she's already won a civil trial, claiming that Parker ignored repeated warnings about the gun. The civil trial alleged Parker failed to act after several staff members informed her that the student had a gun in his backpack. The boy's mother, Deja Taylor, was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for felony child neglect and federal weapons charges. Deja Taylor, the kid's mother. The boy's mother, Deja Taylor, was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for felony child neglect and federal weapons charges. The child who has extreme emotional issues will not face criminal charges that would now indicate a relative. The child is 6 years old. Why did he have a gun? And why did he bring it to school? Those are the big questions I want to know. The trial is expected to last about 3 days. Parker's case is notable as it tests the limits of who is responsible when a juvenile carries out a school shooting. While parents in similar cases have faced charges, Parker appears to be the first educator to stand trial under such circumstances. Yeah, I want to know. Maybe this teacher did ignore warning signs. I just want to know what's up with this kid, this 6-year-old kid. Why would he have a gun? Why did he bring the gun to school? Let's see. I found this on Reddit. U.S. government agrees to drop tax claims against Trump in broadening of U.S. IRS lawsuit settlements. This is in the AP. U.S. government will permanently drop tax claims against President Donald Trump, according to a settlement document made public Tuesday. An extraordinary use of executive power that could effectively help shield the president from further examination of his finances and legal conduct. As part of the settlement deal meant to resolve Trump's $10 billion lawsuit against the Internal Revenue Service over the leak of his tax returns, the U.S. is forever barred and precluded from examining or prosecuting Trump, his sons, and the Trump Organization's current tax examinations, according to the one-page document posted on the Justice Department's website. According to the settlement deal, okay, so after this settlement, the U.S. is forever barred from examining and prosecuting Trump. Seems like Trump's getting the better part of the deal right there. Like, is he able to, like... Government is also barred from looking into Trump's family, affiliates, and others, according to the document, which is signed by Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. That document is a separate addendum from the original settlement announced Monday and was quietly added to the Justice Department website on Tuesday. I have the document from the Attorney General here. The settlement agreement in Trump versus Internal Revenue Service, number yada yada, has created the Anti-Weaponization Fund. Or just the fund. The settlement agreement directed the Attorney General to issue an order establishing funding and any other relevant requirements for the fund. The United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from, and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, cause of action, appeals, or requests for any relief, including injunctive relief, monetary relief, damages, examinations of similar or related reviews, appeals, debt relief, costs, attorney's fees, expenses, and/or interest, whether presently known or unknown, that is, as the effective date of the settlement agreement, have been or could have been asserted by defendants of the plaintiffs. So basically, they can't, I guess this relates to the concept of double jeopardy. You can't be charged with the same crime at more than once. Settlement refers only to existing audits, not future examinations, the Justice Department said in response to a request for comment on the expanded settlement. The move comes after the Trump administration announced Monday, as part of the lawsuit settlement, the creation of a nearly $1.8 billion fund to compensate allies of the Republican president who believe they have been unjustly investigated and prosecuted in an arrangement that Democrats and government watchdogs criticize as corrupt and unconstitutional. I think at this point, every single one of the politicians in Washington, D.C. are corrupt in one way or another. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. Washington, D.C. is a corrupt cesspool. There's not much we can do about it. Viewers 3. Welcome in, people. Let's see. State judge blocks evidence from Luigi Mangione backpack in United Healthcare CEO murder case. Blocks evidence from the backpack. A New York State judge blocked prosecutors in the murder trial of Luigi Mangione from using some of the evidence from his backpack when he was detained by police in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Mangione is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan. The evidence found during the search of the backpack at the McDonald's must be suppressed, including the magazine, cell phone, passport, wallet, and computer chip, the judge wrote. Why? However, a 3D printed gun, which is suspected of having been used in Thompson's murder, that's actually one thing that kind of scares me, 3D printed guns. But that's another issue. Later inventoried by the police at their headquarters, it can be used as evidence. Look at that. Kind of a smug look on his face, but whatever. A New York State judge on Monday blocked prosecutors in the murder trial of Luigi Magnoni from using some of the evidence from his backpack when he was detained by police at McDonald's in Pennsylvania, on the heels of slaying the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan. Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Gregory Caro. Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Gregory Caro. Let's look up this judge, shall we? Who is he? Who is this guy? Appellate Division. NewYorkCourts.gov. Alright. First Judicial Department. Supreme Court of the State of New York. John Caro. Is this the same guy? I'm not sure. Gregory Caro, not John Caro. I wanted to look up Gregory Caro. Why did it change to John Caro? Gregory Caro. Okay, let's go to Ballotpedia. Gregory Caro graduated from Rutgers School of Law in 1985 and admitted to the New York State Bar in 1986. Prosecutor until 1998, when Mayor Rudy Giuliani appointed him as a judge. He was appointed to the court by Governor George Pataki in 2002 and was reappointed in 2005 and 2014. Caro has been an acting justice for the New York County Supreme Court. New York County Supreme Court since 2002. Luigi Mangione ruling. On September 16, 2025, Judge Gregory Caro dismissed 2 charges of terrorism against Luigi Mangione, who was being tried for the shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. In his ruling, Caro wrote, "While the people place great emphasis on defendant's ideological motive, there is no indication in the statute that a murder committed for ideological reasons fits with the definition of terrorism, without establishing the necessary element of an intent to intimidate or coerce." So that's just establishing a difference between murder and terrorism. Caro upheld a second charge of second-degree murder, writing, "The people presented legally sufficient evidence of all other courts, including murder in the second degree. Thus, the motion to dismiss is denied in all respects." A 3D printed gun was later inventoried by police at their headquarters, can be used as evidence, Caro ruled. Mangione is accused of fatally shooting the 50-year-old Thompson on a Midtown Manhattan street in December 2024 when the insurance company CEO was headed into an investors event for United Healthcare's present United Health Group. I mean, this guy's I don't understand all the I don't understand all the praise this man is getting. I mean, no matter what his motivations were, no matter who he killed, he's still a murderer. We should not be killing people for, no matter how justified we feel we are. But whatever. What else do we got? NAACP calls for boycott of Southern College sports program over voting rights. NAACP's and Congressional Black Caucus are calling on black athletes and fans to boycott the athletic programs of public universities in states that are taking steps at the nation's oldest civil rights group says restricting black voting rights. Congressional Black Caucus, I don't know why we're still using skin color as a identifier for any group. We should not be acknowledging race at all, in my opinion. That's all I got for you. What do you think? Peace out.